Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Rachel Darden, and I'm bringing you the XR News Medical and Health Edition. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here or later viewing this here on YouTube. Today, we're talking with innovating women in XR who are not just exploring immersive technology, but they're actively shaping how it transforms healthcare and medical education. Extended reality is no longer experimental. It's being used to train clinicians, teach complex biological systems, build empathy, and expand access to care across the borders. The women joining us today are leaders that shift not only from the classroom, but to global ecosystems to large scale implementation. This conversation today, which I hope you are a big part of, is about vision, application, and what becomes possible when immersive technology meets real healthcare needs. Now, I want to welcome you back every single first month of the month. On Wednesday, you'll be here with me discussing further about education and healthcare and medical within XR AI. And then on our third week of the month, we have our Innovation Spotlight with Tom Furness, Chris Madsen, and Maxwell McGee. They're always up to foolery, fun, and innovative stuff that's happening with here and Engage. And then on the second and fourth week, we always have our XR News team of Laurel, Steph, and of course, Karen. And they bring us up with the latest and greatest news that's always updated and put within our Discord and on our YouTube channel with all the links so that you can go on later and verify. And then always, all of our episodes are available for our YouTube replay. It takes about us 2 to 3 days, but they're all there for later usage, or if you just want to go back and visit. And always, I want to thank to all the sponsors that help make this together. We have the Reinhardt Institution, XR Girls, Vertex, of course, Educators in VR, Engage, Virtual World Society, Bridge Makers, and always our cadets. And if it wasn't, the XR News is produced by Educators in VR and run by volunteers. I'd also like to ask you to join us and follow us along with our social media on all of our educators platforms. We definitely have our YouTube channel, and then we have Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Facebook, Discord, of course, is where we house the majority of our information, and of course, Blue Sky. So again, thank you to everybody who is part of the team, who is our sponsors. And if you have any interest of being one of those, please contact us on educatorsinvr.com. So today I have the beautiful pleasure of introducing three ladies that really have, become friends. Right next to me, I have Dr. Jane Harrington. She's like our scientific educator pioneer. Then next to her is Mia, who's the interpreter for Nora Yu. She's the ecosystem builder and global connector out of Asia, specifically representing Korea. And then sitting on the final end here is Dr. Shannon Putman. I like to call her the scalar and system thinker. Every single lady comes from a different background and introduces XR, VR, AI in different ways, just to show you the broad scale on exactly what we can do here in XR with medical health in mind. So I would like to get the party started off with Dr. Jane Harrington. Dr. Jane Harrington, how did you first enter XR? And what at the moment did you realize immersive technology could truly impact medical or healthcare spaces?
When did I first? That's always a good question. So I have to stop and think. I bought for my daughter in 2019 as a Christmas present. So my daughter was 10 at the time, and we bought the Oculus Rift. And the Oculus Rift, and it was my first time of seeing the anatomy apps. And there was one that you could get pretty small, and you were in the lung, and it was breathing with you.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful, and the Rift had some really amazing anatomy apps. But the story I'd say tell about that is that in 6 months it became obsolete. The cord was tethered, and it had too much strain on it, and so when people get frustrated when their Quest 2 stops working after 2 years, I just laugh. So yeah, that was my first experience. Beat Saber, Beat Saber, and with my daughter, started my journey.
I love the Beat Saber. I personally have games on like every Monday and Friday. You know, we rotate them out, but it's really such a connector globally. I play with several people online, and I think me and Laurel play together. Yeah, it's such a great game, but it's collective as well. So, what are you doing now these days with Micromedia Maps?
Our company, Med Micromap. So I was a medical educator for a long time, and I just got frustrated. I was teaching during the pandemic, PowerPoints, multiple choice questions to a Zoom camera, and it was boring. It was stressful. The students constantly ask, "What's on the test? What's on the test?" If it's not on the test, I don't want to hear it. Versus my experiences with doing outreach in the younger populations. I mostly go to grades 4 and 5. Their science is hands-on and it's fun. The kids love it. And I've been a Girl Scout mentor. I've been a Girl Scout camp counselor. I've been a mad scientist. Anytime that I can get kids excited about science, that brings me joy. And that contrast between the joy and engagement in that lower grades to the stress of higher education. I got into technology. I really started whenever I got my first iPad. And
Mm.
say how can we use these tech tools to make learning engaging, accessible, creative, and most important, fun. If you're stressed, you can't learn. If you're having fun and you got that buy-in, learning becomes easy.
Oh
So
yeah,
you're back to
I
yeah.
completely
I'm
no,
sorry.
I
I got into
completely
like
agree.
my origins. My
No, no,
origins.
and it totally goes great because you work so deeply in microbiology and infectious disease education, which can be rather dry when you're just reading books and looking
Terrible.
at slides,
Terrible.
right? So, what is something immersive VR can teach future healthcare professionals that traditional textbooks and lectures simply just cannot?
Yeah. It's when you see them, when you touch them and you see them. So we say if you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't learn it. Most physicians, if you talk to them, you say the word microbiology, which infectious disease impacts us all. We've all had a sore throat. We all experienced a pandemic. But majority of health professionals, so including our nurses, our technicians, our pharmacologists, they just memorize bugs and drugs, and so it's a Latin name with a with a drug name, and it's recall, but it's not deep meaning. And so when a new microbe comes along, such as SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, there is no mental cognitive ability to incorporate something new. So that's how our project, we got funded by the National Science Foundation to build a magic school bus-like experience that you shrink down to the size of viruses. Our first storyline is strep throat, and you have to figure out what it is. And all of our microbes they're real. I would say they're based on a real microscopy. The colors that we choose are coming from light microscopes, so the stains we use. And so if I have to teach, this is a double-stranded DNA, naked, RNA positive, and it's just gibberish. And I had to learn it and master it to teach it. Versus if you touch them and you manipulate them and you hold them side by side, you learn instantly. We've kind of shifted down to science education in the high schools, because by the time somebody gets into medical school and they're learning microbiology, they learn it by memorizing. versus the kids. We want to show them how cool this is, and they are smart enough to learn it with the right tools. So I say, I study microbiology. Most people say I'm not that smart because of
Mm.
memorizing words. But if I say, well, do you know what the planets are? Yeah, because I had models. I went to a planetarium. Same thing. Do you know what Pokemon is? These kids can tell you extensively about tons of characters, lots of details. And I say, well, if you can learn Pokemon, you can learn these microbes. And that's what's happening. We're putting our VR headset, so we're now available in Quest. We're beta testing, so reach out if you want an invite. We're beta testing with teenagers mostly, and they can learn 20 microbes in minutes. What would take me 2 hours of lecture, they learn so quickly because of the spatial visual, impossible world that is virtual and extended reality.
Jane, I think that's so great. And I think this is a good time for maybe you to bring in a microbe or two just to give people an idea of
Yeah,
exactly what that is. So, yeah, she's
we
going to
love
bring in
them.
some actual 3D models, and they are fabulous.
Yeah.
And so,
It,
while you're working on that, I
yeah,
want you to think about how the immersion has changed the retention, the empathy, and the clinical decision making in ways we're only being able to measure. Because I know you're measuring like how much they're retaining this
yeah.
information.
And it's rewards. It's rewards. It's the,
Mm,
the 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 patient has a sore throat. I'm in there, and there are these bacteria, which I don't know they're bacteria yet because I have to learn that. And I need to figure out, should I give them an antiviral or an antibacterial? Which, I'll get to the punchline. You give them penicillin because it's caused by strep bacteria. And so you have to learn to weapon up. You have to get the skills of the knowledge to then get the weapon. And that comes the super fun part of you have to shoot it 7 times with a little antibiotic launcher. And that represents taking your antibiotic 7 days. And again, this is something I could lecture to kids, and it just goes one ear or the other. Where if I put on the headset and say, hey, you got to solve this problem. You got to go kill that monster. Oh my gosh, they love it. They just love it. So it's really taking game theory, but it's more importantly meeting learners where they are.
cool. All right. While we are waiting for Jane to pull in one of her microbes, if anybody has any questions during this time, just go ahead and raise your hand or use one of your emojis, and you're welcome to chime in or ask questions at any point in time, and we can take you off mute. This is more like a fireside chat than an interview, and your intervention is amazing. All right, here's our first one. Let's talk about this guy.
Salmonella.
Good morning.
My postdoc work was with salmonella, and it is one of the most common foodborne illnesses, and the tail. This is actually how it swims. So we think of salmonella being a lot in like nature and poop. So it swims through your gastrointestinal tract. I kind of think of it like a Medusa if you turn it another way. But I've been in microscopes. Like I've seen this for real. I've studied the structures quite extensively. So when I look at this, I go, oh, it's salmonella. And yeah, doesn't it look like a Medusa? Or if you can turn it upside down, it could be octopus. Yeah, octopus. And it's using fun and analogies to associate. So if I had students and I tell them it is a, gram-negative cockeye bacilli, blah blah blah. Again, it's blah blah blah. Where I say it's pink, like when we stain it under the microscope, it has a tail and it swims through your digestive tract. It's associated with fish, it's associated with birds and poop, a lot of poop. And then the students go, oh, yeah, I can associate with that. And it makes learning easier and, of course, more fun. In our gameplay, we're mixed reality. We're aiming for
Mm.
multiplayer, and it's so much fun to throw microbes at each other. So we we had one where we actually were successful with mixed reality multiplayer, and my friend was in Mexico, and she was standing in my kitchen in her avatar, and I was cooking, and I had the salmonella, and I was like I was putting it all over my food. It's silly, but will you take the takeaway? It's foodborne. It swims in the gut in aquatic environments, and it's a pink bacteria. Like that's really foundational microbiology that students they do not get that foundation just from text. We're visual and contextual. That's really putting what's in the brain, and it's silly and fun. Possibly you can bring in some of the viruses. I think I'm not sure if they have a color, but like DNA, RNA, something that we all learn. We all learn DNA, we all learn RNA, we all learn protein in high school, and we learn it, and then you take it again in maybe AP biology, maybe, or chemistry, or you take it again. And so I looked up for respiration. Uh, pre-med students have to learn respiration and glycolysis 5 times. But by the time that they get to me at second year medical school, they still don't remember it. Where this is actually SARS-CoV-2, this is a real model based on electron microscopy, and we start talking about what is the vaccine. Well, if we look at, I can't step over, but the spikes coming out are the spike. That's the spike protein, and that's what we make
Mm.
antibodies to. And so if I actually just got COVID last month, it came into my nose, and that I got vaccinated, so the antibody that my body made is in my lungs, and it blocked it. It literally blocked it. And so if you vaccinate with just this, like just the protein, it blocks it. And that's a hard concept, and it's intimidating. The inside of it, that's RNA. And these are really hard concepts. They're hard concepts because we're learning them from a book. It's abstract, like especially for our young adults. Like that's just gibberish. Versus if I take this asset and they can make it bigger, they can make it smaller, they can walk inside of it, and they can look at it and compare it to, say, the rhinovirus that causes the common cold. They can compare it to HIV. They can compare it to, any of that we have 22 viral assets. And it's like they look at the differences and go, oh, I get it now. That's my favorite. That is my favorite.
No, and I think that's so beautiful. And maybe I'm not new to your project exactly, but
Yeah.
these are the actual colors that if a microbiology student was to look at it, this is the actual colors that they would be. So the other one would be pink. This would actually be white. So it's a
Well,
true
the
representation.
white, sorry, the white engaged doesn't bring over our skins. We are
Uh,
in, we have spatial.io, and we're happy to provide
mhm.
that world for, it's mobile compatible. We shipped away from it because it's not headsets. We do have a Meta Horizon world that I've spent a little bit of time. It's not published yet. We're in Quest, but I'm also, we built an Engage. And so these microbes, we can take them different places. A VR chat, I guess, is
Amazing.
the new hot build. And we really want them to be accessible. I just went to a vibe coding session last night, Rachel, I haven't shared with you, and we made a 1981 game, a mobile game with Galaga. And so it's like a Space
Mm.
Invaders. And so I brought all my PNGs of the microbes, and it's the B cell shooting antibodies against it. And as you're shooting them, little facts pop up. And so taking this really cool science and being able to adjust to 2D mobile, an a 1980s arcade game, to different immersive VR. We're planning for smart glasses, and so in the next year, these assets, our vision is to have vision, so that you put on the smart glasses and you can start talking about salmonella or the SARS-CoV-2, and you can hand them off to each other and say, oh, look at this, and compare them. And it's like if you were learning the planets and you only learned Mars, and it was black and white on a piece of paper, and you had to learn facts about Mars, and next week you would learn about Saturn, and it was black and white, and the 2D illustrations they're really terrible in textbooks. You won't remember them. Were Cosmic XR, that's another, that's the developer. Both of us got nominated for the Poly Awards, which is exciting. But you can go
Yay!
in mixed reality and touch them and look at their size differences and their colors, and it's like their characteristics just become so obvious.
So, Jane, with the learners that you've been experiencing so far, have you seen like the retention rate, or what's been like the most impressive part of like, oh my gosh, this is why this type of learning needs to be immersive compared to a textbook?
I actually a little bit step back. So the Men Micro Maps is it is a comprehensive learning system that incorporates color coding, mind maps, decision tree logic, and method of loci. And I wrote a book. It's a interactive ebook we call it the Atlas. And we launched it in March of 2022 while I was I was in the Caribbean teaching the medical students, and we got 92% adoption with 2,600 medical students. So it was web based, and I was tracking their usage. And that one we published. We did surveys, we did pre-test, post-test, and consistently we got the feedback: I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual learner. So
Okay.
in this last year, we're really doing, I'm going to say, more casual user testing. So we estimate we've had about 250 people in the headset, in demoing our headset. We've had in our spatial build, I think we're at 650 who've visited. So we've interacted with hundreds. So we're actually in the process of getting our IRB, Institutional Review Board, for doing a very controlled a study on learning outcomes, and that's with Colorado State. And so we're in that
Cool.
process to get real publishable, measurable data in controlled settings. However, the most powerful outcome, the most powerful consistent response is, oh, wow, 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 like that of all ages. Everyone who's tried our app was this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. And I tell them, I said, this is really what the microbes look like. This is really, and people feel excited and interested and curious about these microbes. Like, over half of them we've all had at some point in time. Like, it's a big deal.
Oh,
So using art and immersion, I mean, it is an unbeatable medium. It really is.
I completely agree with you. And thank you for sharing all that with us, Jane.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you guys are welcome to get in touch with Jane, I left her LinkedIn information on our Discord, on our Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Educators in VR. So next up, we're going to talk with Nora Yu, and she brought an interpreter. Her name is Mia. And Nora, would you like to introduce yourself and kind of just open up to us? You're a brand new person to us in general here in Educators in VR, and I'm so grateful to introduce you.
간단하게 소개를 해주시면 될 것 같아요. 지금 여기 처음이시니까. 네.
Nora, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. My name is Nora, CEO of Ficus Korea, a Metaverse company based in South Korea. I have been working in Metaverse technology for more than 5 years, and I am the Korean partner of the Engage XR platform. My work focuses on building global community in the Metaverse through education, event, and the Metaverse Caster program.
Great. So, how did you first enter XR, and when is the moment you realized the immersion was so important for the medical and healthcare division?
Um, my journey into XR started 2020 when I first entered the Engage platform using a VR headset. I saw people from different countries collaboration inside the virtual space, and I was fascinated. During the pandemic, I realized that this technology could connect people globally for education, collaboration, and healthcare.
Okay. So, you've been
Yeah.
growing the XR adoption all through Asia. What unique opportunities do you see for XR in healthcare, just specifically in Korea, or maybe even broader through the Asian market?
Yeah. Uh, XR opportunity in Korea and Asia. Asia has a strong digital infrastructure, and people are very open to new technology. In healthcare, immersive platform allow doctors, researchers, and students to collaboration globally and share knowledge more easily. 괜찮아요?
Yeah, no, you're great. And then what have you been doing within the Engage platform for, say, healthcare or medical? Because I know you do a lot of work in both of those fields.
선생님 이건 무슨 질문이에요?
그러니까 지금 뭐 하셨냐, 예, 지금까지 그 메타버스 이쪽에서 특히 메디컬 분야에서 그 어떤 일들을
음,
해오셨는지.
음, 아, VR, VR and the metaverse are not same. VR is a technology, yeah, but the metaverse is an ecosystem where people meet, collaborate, and build communication.
Okay,
Mm,
Nora, I think the question got wrong, so let me try again. So
yeah.
I was asking what specifically in Engage platform have you done with the educational for medical and healthcare? Because I know you do a lot, specifically here in Engage for medical and healthcare.
선생님 어떤 거예요?
그러니까 지금 많은
음,
일들을 하신 건 맞는데, 그리고 특히 이 교육적인 거나 그런 의료적인 그거에 대해서 그러니까 어떻게 이걸 해왔는지 그러니까 그런 부분에 대해서 말씀해 주시면 그때 뭐 순찰형들 뭐 이런 거 하셨었잖아요. 뭐 그런 것도 얘기해 주시면 될 것
아,
같아요.
아, 그러면 그냥 제가 한국말로 할게요. 예, 예, 선생님이 해주세요. 제가 한국말로 할게요, 그러면.
예.
예. 저는, sorry. 어, 저는,
No need to be sorry.
예, 이 VR 헤드셋을 꼭 이렇게 누구든지 체험을 해봐야 이 광대한 역량을 알 수 있다고 생각을 하기 때문에 VR 헤드셋을 가지고 교육을 먼저 했어요. 사용법을 알려주고, 그리고, 여기에 참여하도록 유도를 했고, 그리고 각 기관이나 학교 이런 곳에서 이것을 계속 이렇게 사용할 수 있도록 권장을 하고 또 판매를 하고 비즈니스, 이 가상 공간에서 비즈니스의 생태계를 만들려고 굉장히 그런 부분에서 제가 노력을 많이 하고 있었습니다. 예, 선생님.
Because she believe uh, she need to help the people to understand what is VR first, when she wanted to start her work. So she tried to make a kind of a partnership with several schools and an organization, uh, and help them know what is a metaverse first, and she taught how to use this kind of system, and help them know. That was the first stage.
어, I can bring here just AI.
Nope. You
Oh,
now
cool.
have
Okay.
all. You could take us to another world. Yep. Go for it. All good. Fixed.
오케이.
지금 바로
오케이.
바로 할 수
오케이.
있나 봐요, 지금 또.
예, 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 네.
싶으신가 봐요. 예.
음,
I'm so
오케이.
excited. And again, if you
오케이.
guys ever have any questions, just
안내를 좀 해주셔야 될 것 같아요.
아, 그, 이거, 선생님, 이거는 그냥 우리가 만든 거고, 제가, 그,
네.
의료 쪽에 관심 있는 사람들한테 직접 이렇게 보여주고, 여기서 실습을 많이 한다고 그렇게 설명하시면 될 것 같아요.
This
여기,
was is a
이쪽이
special.
수술실이고, 이쪽이
This is the
수술실이고, 이쪽에 방도
네.
있고, 예.
Okay. This is especially built by the Ficus Korea uh, to uh, to help the people in the medical field, and they can enjoy this real hospital at the VR. So they specially made it. So at this there we can see the surgery room where Nora where Nora are staying.
예.
it looks so
여기서,
real. This is
예.
amazing.
Really glad to hear that.
Wow.
I mean,
This
I
is
can even read the
beautiful.
PDFs. I can even read the PDFs on the wall. Like sometimes when you get in VR, that's always missed. So I love the detail. And how many people usually, or how many people so far have used like rooms like these?
그러면
얼마나,
지금 몇 명
선생님,
정도?
예?
몇 명 정도 이렇게 이거 들어올 수 있는 그런 상태 얘기하시는 것 같아요.
아, 근데 보통 이제 수업을 할 때 한 20명 정도 여기 와서 같이
음, 음.
간호 수업을 하고 했어요. 20명 정도 한 번에.
When we have a class, we just welcomed about 20 people who are studying nursing.
Oh, that's beautiful. And how many different worlds have you made within Engage so far?
How many words?
다른
아우,
어,
몇 개 정도 만드셨죠?
우리는 굉장히 많이 만들어서 우리의 다른 공간이 꽤 있는데 오늘
네,
시간이 다 보여줄 수 없을 거니까 이거랑 병원 또 다른 AI 병원 AI가
네,
세팅되어 있는 거기로 가겠다고 그렇게 얘기해
네,
주세요. 아,
네.
지금 그쪽으로 옮겨갑니다.
Yeah, we built it a lot of world, but we have a time limit, so we can just show you this room and another room for medical AI.
Okay.
This one is the
Let's-
first
Yeah.
case, and
오케이.
Okay. Let's do it. And
Let's
then
go.
everybody,
Yeah.
as we go into these new worlds, please explore around. There's no rules with you having to stay back. This is to be an immersive experience for you. And
Yeah,
it's so impressive how detailed this is.
Yeah,
Like you can
engage.
read the labels.
Yeah, that is engage session. Engage session set up
Mhm.
just AI.
Oh wow.
You can test animation Alex AI. Please button.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
please test.
Hi Alex, how are you
여기
today?
test received loud and clear. 是的，真的。有什么我可以帮忙的吗？
여기는 영어로 환영 인사를 좀 해주세요. 사람들이 많이 왔어요. 영어로 환영 인사를.
Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have so many of you here today. Let's make this a great experience together.
Let's go
Oh.
MRI room.
All right.
Please.
And Nora, how many
please.
languages does he speak? Your AI.
AI many language can be. Please test animation to Daniel. Daniel,
Oh my.
all allowed.
와우.
Yeah, come on in,
Please,
everybody. This is
conversation.
so
죄송하지만
amazing.
말씀하신 내용을 잘 이해하지 못했습니다. 조금 더 자세히 설명해 주실 수 있나요? 저는 머리 부상 때문에 MRI 검사를 받고 있어서요. 검사와 관련해 궁금한 점이 있으면 말씀해 주세요.
Hey Daniel, please say again what you just said in Korean.
네, 제가 방금 말씀드린 건요. 죄송한데 무슨 말씀이신지 잘 이해를 못했다는 거예요. 제 머리 부상 때문에
Please say again what you just said in English. In English.
Sure. What I said was, I'm sorry, but I didn't quite understand what you meant. I'm here for an MRI because of a head injury. So if you have any questions about the scan, please let me know.
Please, everybody, please conversation animation together.
Does anybody have a question specifically they would like to ask Daniel?
I'm just awestruck. It's beautiful.
Right? Isn't this amazing?
Please
I have a
click
question. Okay,
Okay,
Daniel, how does it feel when you go into the MRI?
And, well, I'm trying to stay calm and follow the instructions they give me during the MRI. It's a bit noisy, and I have to stay very still, which isn't always easy. Do you want to know more about what I'm feeling right now, or about the injury?
No, I think I'm good. And Nora, this room is amazing, and I love that the background interference, because it
Yeah.
represents real life
이거
inside of a
저기
medical
진짜
facility.
선생님께 마음에 드시구나.
The
Yeah.
sound is
There is
wonderful.
another patient. Please.
Okay.
Get
Meet the one up here.
There we go.
Yeah, this room.
Yep.
This room. Yeah.
This is
Please
wonderful.
enter.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Please enter the step room.
Yeah.
Yes, sample room.
Hi, Alex. Please explain the respiratory.
Hi. It looks like you mentioned Potteriatri.
No. The respiratory system. Please explain respiratory system.
Got it. The respiratory system is made up of organs that help you breathe. It includes the nose, throat, windpipe, lungs, and tiny air sacs called alveoli. Air enters through your nose or mouth, goes down your windpipe, and fills your lungs where oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide, which you then breathe out. It's how your body gets the oxygen it needs to function. Would you like me to explain a specific part?
또 다른 방도 또 있으니까 다른 방에 혹시 갈 수 있나? if you want another room, the patient,
Well,
there is patient.
actually, Nora, we're going to move
Yeah.
on to Shannon's part of it, and then afterwards we'll have a little time for everyone to ask any questions. But this has been amazing, and I cannot get over the detail. I mean, being able to even read the words and see the intricacy of the body. This is simply, I'm in awe. So thank you so much for sharing this.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shannon, I'm not sure where you are. If you could unmute yourself, you're welcome to we can take
I'm out
ourselves
in
back
the
to,
hallway.
okay, you're welcome to take us back to the XR News if you like to start there, or if there's a world specifically you want us to start in, you're welcome to do that as well.
Okay. Let's see.
World.
All right, we'll go to the world. Yes, of course. It's way more exciting. Absolutely. All right. I know which one we're gonna go to, and it's just because I'm selfish. So here we go.
Let's do it.
Harriet Tubman. And the reason that's personal to me is because I was born and raised in Syracuse, New York, and Auburn is right next door to Syracuse. And so every year for school, we would go to the William Seward home, who also lived in Auburn. And then we would go to the Harriet Tubman home. And as a kid, you don't realize how important and cool that is. But now looking back, I'm like, yeah, actually, that was really awesome that we had those resources right in our backyard. So that's why I brought us the Harriet Tubman home.
Oh, this is beautiful. And so what do you use this for, just personal reason, or is this something that you use for educational purposes?
So this is a built-in engaged location, so anybody can come to this home and check it out. And I actually had kind of two reasons for why I picked it. One was because A, like I said, it allowed me to talk about Syracuse, but B, the biggest thing that I do with immersive learning and education is that I really work with educators and everybody to learn the actual technology, and so that then they can use any resource at their disposal in their actual instruction. So you would think, well, what does the Auburn home of Harriet Tubman have to do with medical education? And I could sit right here and I could use this location and do so many different things with students. So I try to get teachers out of the whole idea of, is there an app for that? And so like, for example, no, go ahead.
No,
I think,
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I think that's really great. I want to interrupt.
Nobody, yeah, I know, but nobody know. For the people who don't know who Harriet Tubman is, can you just tell us in a quick, who is she?
Yep. Yeah, so Harriet Tubman was an American civil rights icon who actually escaped slavery herself in the South, and then she moved up to New York, and she helped free multiple slaves and helped them along what was called the Underground Railroad to get to the North and become free.
Thanks for that. And just to let everybody know, you're welcome to walk around and explore. You should be able to hear Shannon as we continue on with the conversation here in this room. So get immersive, go check it out. And yeah, so Shannon, how did you get into XR?
Yeah, so I actually started using VR back in 2016 when Oculus had their DK2 kit. I just saw it on Twitter, and it was Twitter at the time, you know, so I can call it that back then. And I saw this headset and I thought it would be really cool, and I ended up getting it, and I used it with my student who had autism, who had never been able to go out to eat. And I filmed in 360 at the family's favorite restaurant, and after 6 months, he made it an hour and 13 minutes in the actual restaurant. So I've been dedicated to this technology ever since.
That is such a heartwarming story, and exactly why this kind of learning is so special and needed, and it's just getting reinforced more and more. So what kind of barriers do institutions have understanding when this adoption for XR is so needed?
I think the biggest thing is like I always say that my kind of spiel is that we have right now in education, doesn't matter if it's K-12, university, we basically have a bunch of amazing, overwhelmed, educators who have finally figured out how to use their overhead projector. And then here comes Smartboard, and they're like, look, we've got this amazing new interactive technology, and it's going to be so wonderful. You just have to relearn how you do everything. And what happens is they get overwhelmed. And what happened with smartboards, they were giant projection screens. And sometimes you use like the magic pen. And so if we don't want that to continue, we have to actually train and teach educators the whole gamut of the technology. And so that's what I do. And I really focus, especially because I've been using Engage since like 2017. I love Engage. I created my entire dissertation experience inside here, and I don't have programming or coding, but everything that I do is very intentional. And so I look at how we can use whatever we have access to and how can I make it work for what I'm doing right now. And so I think those barriers are just that people are overwhelmed and they have a common misconception that, VR might just be a game. But usually I kind of just get to the point where I tell people when they're like, well, I don't really like VR. I kind of just tell them, well, it's great because it's not about you. It's about your students. And this is technology that they know. This delivers instruction in a manner in which they understand. And I always say I never change the way my kids learn. I change the way I teach. And so VR has a way of tapping into things that you can't get in any other format.
This is Laurel. Shannon, I adore you. The work that you're doing is so, you were such an inspiration to me early on. When you say you bring people in the research I've done with the DO framework, the Discovery, Exploration, Wonder, we call that a complementary experience. So you would come here and talk about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad in an environment that represented her place and her situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I just randomly picked this.
That.
Yeah, I just randomly picked this location for today. But yeah, because especially if you're looking at students in Kentucky, they don't know what a rural home looks like in Syracuse and Auburn, New York, Also, the big thing about this is you can walk around, you can do things, you can actually go in and experience the size of things. And so you're allowing students to consume a 3D content in a 3D format. And I think that's one of the
YouTube or the textbook or that flat 2D thing. It feels like they're actually there. So what's one of your favorite environments in Engage beyond here that really sets a storyline?
I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite one specifically, but like I always try to get people to understand there's so much more we can do. So like the first thing teachers want to ask me when I show them Engage, they're like, well, is there a classroom setting? And I'm like, we're sitting in a classroom. Like we don't have to put a headset on to go into a classroom all the time, even just here. So like I created, for today, I created just an AI avatar for us. And so like the hospital location was awesome. That was unbelievable.
Fantastic.
But like maybe I don't always want to do that. And so, maybe I want to have students, especially like when we're talking about like soft skills or things like that, like maybe I don't, I'm going to be learning how to talk to my coworkers outside of the hospital. What about when we're walking in? What about on lunch? Like all of those things that we've really seen our students struggle with, especially post-COVID. The pandemic really set us back with soft skills. So like I have Jim, and he's a unit secretary. And if we're looking at high school students today, they can actually graduate high school with their certified nursing assistant. And so that's pretty impressive. And it gives them kind of like basically a leg up, but it's not a full nurse. And so it's like going to be an entry level. So I like to kind of show how, like, if I were to ask Jim, like, hey, Jim, what is one of the roles of the unit secretary?
Hey, one key role of the unit secretary is managing communication on the floor, answering calls. coordinating with doctors and nurses, and making sure patient charts and orders are up to date. It keeps everything running smoothly.
And so, like, the reason it was important for me to pick that character was kind of like, because if you look at any, if like Jim here, I didn't go into his full backstory, but he works inpatient oncology, and it's a very busy and very emotional floor. And so there's so many people that make that floor run. And just like in education, it's not just about the classroom teacher. There's instructional assistants, there's front office staff. So like finding out who are the important people that you really want to make good with. Like we always joke in education, you always want to keep your custodian happy. You always want to keep the bookkeeper happy because they're the ones that can really affect like your day. And so in the medical field, there's so many other people besides just your straight doctors and nurses that you're going to be interacting with every day. And these are some of the things that we don't really get to in our textbooks and things because everything is so clinical. You need to learn the skills. You need to learn how to take blood pressure. You need to know this. You need to know that. Well, you don't have the time to come and talk about, okay, who are the people actually you're going to be interacting with and how do you interact with them? And so with VR and Engage, that allows me to do those other things that we might not have time for.
So talking more about that, Shannon, you've led some large-scale XR deployments in education and community settings. What needs to happen systematically for immersive healthcare training to move more from pilot programs to standard practice?
I think, me personally, this is just my opinion, but it is on a lot of experience. I think everybody wants to go straight into the hospital setting, or and it's so already dominated. Like if you want to go into a hospital like here, in say in Louisville, well, there's 4 different hospital systems, which is a lot, but you're dealing with Cerner or Epic, and they already have their own AIs. They already have their own note-taking software. They already have their own training things. They don't want outside things. But the people that are needing it are your high school students who are going to be going into this field, your pre-service nurse or your pre-service healthcare tracks, like maybe junior college or community college, because you don't have those restrictions where they already have systems in place. And so I think we need to, especially in the medical field, we need to focus on who we're actually using the technology with. Also, a lot of people love to say oh, well, this is they'll talk about a blood draw, or, this software teaches you how to take a blood pressure, and this doctor loves it and that doctor loves it. And it's well, the last time a doctor took a blood pressure was probably quite a few years ago. So what do the nurses think about it? What does the nursing assistant think about it? Those are the information that I want to know. And so I think we're just jumping too quick into the professional realm, and if we can focus on the people that are learning, we can get them before they're already into a system.
No, I think that's really wise, and with your experience, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes to next. So if I could get the panel all standing together, so maybe Dr. Jane, Nora, we can all meet over here real quick. Again, I want to thank each one of you for coming here today. And my last question really is when you look 5 years ahead, what makes you the most hopeful or excited about the role of XR in medical and the healthcare innovation?
That's a good question.
Did you want to start first, Shannon?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think what I'm most excited about is I think the educational field in general catching up to the technology. So in 5 years, I think we're going to see headsets in all types of schools, whether it be K-12 or medical, like we have Chromebooks now. And that's super exciting. I know everybody's hyped up about the XR glasses. I think we're still a little bit further away from those just because the strain of a heads-up display all day, we're not there yet as a society, but that's also super exciting. So I think just people adopting the technology and embracing it for the true power that it has is what's exciting for me.
I'm about to die.
Okay. Jane, go for it.
Yeah, I'm most excited about better representation. In that the system that existed, people with learning disabilities, chronic disease, trauma, lower socioeconomic, like any of those barriers. Because if you look at a student population, when they're in grade 3, 20% of them want to go into healthcare. But by the time they're in high school and at that 18 years old, they have been told, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. And so I'm excited about using technology to say, yes, you are. Here are the paths. Here, let's make it easy. Let's make it equitable. And so I'm happy to see healthcare professionals truly represent our society. So yeah, I'm about to die because my headset dies after an hour. Go Pico, get me out of this quest. But I love working together. I love working together. Rachel and
Yeah.
Laurel, thank you for having this. Shannon, you and I have never actually talked. We messaged lots, and we're just doing such amazing work. And so I just the world's going to be such a better place with those of us working for tech for good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I have all of Dr. Jane's information, and again, it's all posted on her LinkedIn is posted on the Discord within LinkedIn and other options. So if you disappeared, Dr. Jane, we won't be mad at you. But I wanted to
Mwah,
ask Nora
mwah.
the same question.
Yeah.
Do I need to re-ask it just in case, Nora?
Uh, okay. Okay. Can I mention any
Yeah.
can I mention any? Yeah. Excel is not just a technology. It is a new space where people around the world can meet, learn, and collaborate. That is the future we should build together.
I agree with you fully. And within the next 5 years,
Yeah.
what are you the
Yeah.
most excited about?
Yeah. Thank you. Invite me.
And my pleasure, Nora, and I'm excited to have you back soon. Well, the session went a little bit long today, so we're out of questions and answers. But again, please engage with us through Discord. Again, this episode was completely recorded. It will be edited and placed later on our YouTube channel for replay at any point in time. And yeah, so again, thank you everybody. And I invite everyone, if you can, possibly connect not only with each other, but connect with me, Shannon, or Miss Nora Yu.
Thanks, everybody.
So,
Thank
so
you.
again, thank you again to our audience. You are the reasons we are here. And we love being interactive and immersive with you. And today demonstrated that fully, what XR AI can do. And thank you to educators in VR for producing and encouraging medical and health innovations with XR AI. Again, a lot of people think of this as just a gaming device when it's so much more. Now, I want you to invite and to connect with us each week on Wednesday. We're here the first week of the month. It was with myself, and we'll go through medical and healthcare innovations, news, technology, and it's always a fun and hopefully immersive experience for all. On the third week, we have Chris Matson. Um, Sorry, I don't have my slides in front of me. Chris Matson, Maxwell McGee, and Tom Furness bringing us innovations that's happening here in Engage. And then on the second and fourth week, we have XR News with our beautiful Laurel, Steph, and Karen bringing us the latest information happening across the metaverse. And again, I want to give you a huge thank you to the amazing XR News crew. We could not do this without you, truly and surely. And we can't do this alone. So we're always looking for new team members to bring the show to life. We're always looking for moderators, speakers, trainers, reporters, script writers, slide makers. The list goes on and on. Training is provided, and at the very least, you can support us by becoming a member of Educators in VR. Come join us and be part of the fun. Again, each one of our shows are filmed for YouTube, and we'll be soon adding live streaming into our Educators in VR YouTube, our Twitch, Discord, and so much more. So stay close up to date with everything that's happening across the metaverse. and join our Educators in VR Discord and any of our social channels. You'll always find all the latest news and updates with links in educatorsinvr.com. I also want to thank again to our beautiful partners and supporters who make this show quite possible. The list goes on, and if you would like to be a part of that, please again contact us at educatorsinvr.com. I'm so wildly grateful to share this edition with you, and until next time, I'm Rachel Darden, and this has been the XR News Medical Health in Edition. I hope to see you in the metaverse soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Laurel, was there anything else you would like to add?
Just waiting for Stands with Trees to do his thing.
We did a thing!
Yay! Now we're over.
Yay!